This class is Web 2 about server-side processing. It'd be nice if our server had some information to process. Okay, let's talk about forms, getting information from the user, looking at a web page. They submit a request and information is given to the server. Let's look at the protocol involved in that. Okay, so we're going to start with, just jump into an example here. What is your request? Aha, the holy pail. It's the one that dear Henry used, to dear Liza's chagrin, maybe. What is your favorite color? Orange. Okay. If you're happy and you know it, click the box. Sure. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this form. The first thing I want to mention is that when you submit a form, it's almost just like clicking a link in a browser. All my browser is going to do is go and request a URL from the server. Okay. In fact, we'll even look at what the URL is. This URL that we're on, it's hard to see the name, is form0.php. And when I made the request, it went to a page. If we were to scroll over here, can we do this? form0-handle.php, just what I named this thing. It's just a web page. Okay, so I just made a request. Okay, we look at this results of the request here, form results. It must be tough to seek the holy pail. Oh, hey, what a coincidence. I love orange too. I'm glad you think you're happy. Okay, so clearly the server got the information that I had typed in a moment before in the previous form. How did it do that? Well, I'm actually giving it away right here. There's an array called underscore post. There should be an underscore there. Underscore post is an array with 4 things. Quest is the holy pail. Favorite color is orange. Is happy is yep. And submitten is make it so. Okay, we're going to focus on just the first couple for right now. Then next video we'll talk about the next things. Okay, I'm going to go back. Let's go back to that previous page. Okay. First of all, these elements that I typed in here, those are just a regular HTML tag that made that. You've probably seen them before, maybe in Web 1. It's an input tag. I'm going to do a view source. And here we have input type equal text. And there was a second box, input type equal text. Okay. Input type equal text, name equal quest. And over here, name equal favorite color. These attributes are really important. When you have an input tag, the name attribute is how the receiving form is going to access the information. It needs to know the name. Okay, so that's sort of the thing that both sides need to agree on. The protocol, I guess, is, hey, there's going to be some information coming in, and it's going to be called quest. And there's another piece of information coming in, it's going to be called favorite color. Okay, so we see that in the form here. When we went ahead and submitted, how did I go ahead and get things like it must be tough to seek the holy pail? Let's go to scroll down here, look at the source code. Now, we're going to simplify this in a moment, but the first thing to notice is I'm going to view a PHP program as just a program that prints HTML. And to really make that clear, I'm continuing with, hey, my PHP program is just going to be a bunch of echo statements. In fact, you can see echo open bracket HTML. Echo, I even have a comment here that gets echoed. Echo head, echo angle bracket title, and then I have a variable called title here. Oh, that was a variable I set up on line 5 or so. Okay, so echo close head, echo open body, echo this, echo that. A PHP program can do anything it wants. We're happening to write PHP programs that print, and what do they happen to print? Something that happens to be HTML. Okay, so, but again, that's not inherent to PHP in any way. Okay, oh, by the way, here I have an H2 title again. That's why we have form results appearing here. That's from the H2. This form results up in the browser tab. I think my browser, used the title tag inside the head to grab that. It'd be nice if those two are always the same, right? Which is exactly why I made a variable called form results, and I use that variable in 2 different places. Okay. Anyway, echo, it must be tough to seek. And then here we are, here's the magic, underscore post and look up the key quest. Remember, the arrays in PHP are just key value pairs. They're hash tables, really. So the key is quest, and the value is whatever I typed in on the previous form. And on the next line here, underscore post a favorite color. So the string favorite color is the key, and orange was the value that came along with it. Okay, there's more going on in this file that we're not going to talk about. So yeah, we have key value pairs that got transmitted along. Going back here, hey, when we clicked make it so, and I'm going to repeat everything I said and add a little bit, the crucial bits of information. When we clicked make it so, all we did was make another web request, but we included, in that web request, we included a bunch of key value pairs, okay? How did we include, where did those key value pairs get included? All I did was send a URL to the server, right? Well, if you remember a few lectures back, we said, actually, yeah, you make a request. That's what you give to the server. But really, along with that, it's wrapped inside an HTTP packet that might include other information. We actually looked at some packets and some of the other things they included. Referring page, operating system, that sort of thing. Hey, one of the other things that gets included in the HTTP header can be a bunch of key value pairs. So that's what I went across. How did the browser know what key to use for the holy pail? Oh, again, just doing a show of source. The name attribute. Hey, that's going to be the key, and whatever the user typed in will be the value. So those are the key value pairs that we submitted to the user, or to the server. By the way, what URL did we go to? Let me do another view source of this form here. Oh, you know, I saw these input tags, talked about those. There's also a form tag. And there's two interesting things in the form tag. The most pertinent maybe is, hey, when somebody hits submit, where should we submit to? What URL should we request? Hey, request this URL here, form0 handle.php. By the way, rule of thumb, don't waste your time thinking about weird file names. If you have a form and you call that form blarg HTML or blarg PHP, whatever, if you call the form blarg, call the page that processes that form blarg handle. Okay, don't waste your time thinking of names, blarg handler, the handler of blarg, and then have different variations for all your different forms. Pick a convention and stick with it. I don't really care what the convention is. I use -handle after the name of it, after what I call the form. But pick a convention and stick with it. Okay, so yeah, the browser knew, hey, when you go ahead and click on the submit button, hey, that's like clicking a link to form0 handle.php. And hey, in that request, include these key value pairs. Include them in the HTTP header. Actually, why did we include them in the HTTP header? Because a method equal post, one of the things that means is, hey, throw the key value pairs in the header. The other method you can use is get. Get will go ahead and include the key value pairs in the URL or at the end of the URL. I'll have the URL question mark and then key value pairs. We've actually seen some get parameters before. So later we'll come back and talk about what's the real difference between post and get. Use post if the thing submitting this request twice shouldn't happen. Okay. Use get if you can submit the exact same request 50 times in a row and it's just fine. In particular, if you're trying to buy a plane ticket, use post. If you're just trying to bookmark a page for a nice picture or an old Reddit thread or whatever, you can go ahead and use get parameters and then you can bookmark it and make requesting that page 1,000 times doesn't hurt. Submitting the form about buying a plane ticket 1,000 times might really hurt your wallet. So, okay. We'll come back to that. Okay, but I think now we understand what's going on. There is in a form, you have input tags. Every input tag has a name attribute. That name is used as the key, and the user's input is used as the value to get key value pairs that get sent to the server. What page is requested to which those key value pairs get attached? the URL up in the action attribute of the form. Okay. I guess you could have several forms, different form tags on the same page. The form must include all the input tags that are inside of it that get sent along with that form. Never make a web page that have more than one form on it. That would just be very confusing. But you could, that is, there'd be 3 different forms. You know, users only going to submit one or the other. But okay. When we submit that, we go ahead and submit it. Make it so. How does the form handler get the information back? It looks up in the array underscore post, and it uses the keys, the name attributes back in that form. Okay. One last little point here. Who puts that information into the array? I'm running a PHP program. There's an array. I didn't initialize post. In fact, post doesn't. My code doesn't initialize it at all. Well, if you think about it, the server. I mean, who ran this PHP program? The server. Apache did. Apache said, "Hey, I got a request for form0 handler.php. So it ends in PHP. Go run it, and whatever it prints, send back that to the requester." That's the rule there. The other thing the server does is say, "Oh, by the way, whatever page is being requested, I don't care how it's requested. I don't care that it ends in .handler or .php or whatever, but hey, I see that in this request I got, there are a bunch of, in the header, there are some key value pairs. I know before I go run that program, I'm going to start up a PHP process. I'm going to make an array called underscore post, and I'm going to populate it with key value pairs that I found off in the HTTP header." So it's sort of copying stuff from the network packet it got into the memory space of the PHP program. Then, after it's done that, then it says, okay, now I'm going to go start running this requested PHP program. I'm going to start running it on line 1, and that's why that array underscore post already exists by the time my code hits line 1. Okay, we're going to come back and talk more about some of these different forms and some of the little idiosyncrasies that can happen, but this is the important point. When you have a form, you submit it. Key value pairs get submitted. The key is whatever was the name attribute of the input tag, and the value is what the user had specified. Okay.